Good afternoon, Anne Arundel County. Good afternoon, America. Welcome to Promoting Community Conversation and Discovery. I'm your host, Anthony Bynum. The name of our production company is the Glen Burnie Players. These are exciting times here in Anne Arundel County. We've had just a beautiful day today. We've had a lot of rain, the weather pattern has been kind of interesting because it'll be warm and then we'll get rain at the end of the day. I keep thinking I gotta uh, uh, water this some new grass that I planted, but we're getting plenty of water. I haven't had to turn the hose on one time. Yes, these are exciting times here. We have a great show for you tonight. But first, some upcoming announcements. Let's start off with upcoming announcements, right? So there's a play that's just started. It started on the 11th. It's going to run to the 20th. It's being run over at AACC College, the Anne Arundel Community College. The Arnold campus, which is at 101 College Parkway. It's the Adams family. Now, this thing's been around a while. Now, this is being produced by the Time Machine. It couldn't be that hard to find out ticket prices. Feel free to check them out. In fact, I'm actually going to an opera this weekend. Yes, I enjoy different types of cultural events. This one that I'm going to is actually in Baltimore. I guess it's considered Baltimore City, right at the top of Charles Street. It's called the Yeoman of the Guard. This is actually who those two composers? Uh, I had to circle back to these. Gilbert and Sullivan. Yes, I heard it on the radio and I wanted to check it out. And anyway, it's called the Yeoman of the Guard. It's being produced by the Young Victorian Theatre. And um, it's going to be held over at the Gilman, which is a prep school, Baltimore City, the top of Baltimore City, by the top of Charles Street. So anyway, I'm pretty looking forward to that. It's actually on Sunday. Our affiliates, these are the people who air community conversation and discovery. So we want to thank the fine people at AAC TV right here in Glen Burnie, Amherst Media in Amherst, Massachusetts. I forgot Greenbelt Cable Access in PG County. Thank you for airing our shows. Manhattan Neighborhood Network in the Big Apple. Thank you for airing our shows. And Brunswick TV3 in Maine. Thank you for airing our shows. Also, we want to thank our references. Without the references, we don't have the material. So Wikipedia, Google Images, and this week, Facebook. You never know what you're going to find, right? We want to thank our underwriter/sponsor, and that is the Cleaning Chef. All right, we want to start off with our most admired. Up until this week, I had never heard of this individual, but again, another hidden gem. We were going to talk about Mickey Mantle, who a lot of folks know about, and I hadn't covered him, but then I saw this other article and it just stuck out. I said, oh man, this is a gem. This is one of history's greats that most of us will never know. Let's pull it up right now. And yes, I do enjoy talking about female heroines. I do enjoy it because everyone can be a hero. Everyone. So the woman's name is Phyllis Latour. She was actually born April 8th, 1921 in Durban, South Africa. She died October 7th, 2023 in West Auckland, New Zealand. She actually went to Kenya High School, which most likely is in Kenya. Remember now, the English had a lot of assets in lots of different places in the world. So all that makes sense to me. So here's the story. In May of 1944, 23-year-old Phyllis Latour jumped out of a U.S. air bomber and parachutes into occupied Normandy, France. Her mission was to gather information on key Nazi positions for the planned invasion. So Eisenhower and the Brain Trust knew, but they had to keep it so close. It had to be on a need to know basis. It had to be. It had to be. So when someone like Phyllis is taken into their confidence, their confidence, they know they can trust her. But she had been trained by the British Special Operations Executive. She learned how to send secret messages in Morse code, how to fix wireless radios, and most importantly, how to spy. What is spying? It's just observing. Now, she had pretended to sell soap from her bicycle, and she was secretly passing messages to the British. Now maybe some by radio, maybe she had contacts over there. Not clear. She lived in the woods when she needed. She would chat with German soldiers to avoid suspicion. She kept her secret codes on a piece of silk under her hairpin. There was one time when she was detained, and that had to be scary. But very bravely, what she did is she let her hair down to show that she had nothing to hide. Wow. Think about that. You get detained, you might not come out. That was a tough time to live for many people. And she didn't have to do any of this, but she was motivated because the Nazis had killed her father. So the story goes. She wanted to see the best way to get even. Now, she survived the war. She married and moved to New Zealand, raising a family. It was only in the year 2000 that she kept all that to herself. Maybe her husband knew, I don't know. But she didn't want to talk about it. She kept it all to herself. But in the year 2000, one of her kids found out some kind of way. So they said, Phyllis, you got some splaining to do. What a hero. What a hero. And it's often the case where many heroes don't want to talk about what they did. That's often the case. So in 2014, she was on the 70th anniversary of D-Day. The French government presented her with the Chevalier of Legion of Honor, the highest award they give. She passed October 7th, 2023. What a story. What a hero. What a heroine. That's a great story. Great story. She did her job, and then she just wanted to live a regular life. She probably could have stayed in England and gotten, on every award show there was, but she didn't want to do that. She just wanted to live a regular life. Hats off to Miss Phyllis, I'll tell you. Hats off. All right, I want to talk about something of consequence regarding Anne Arundel County. So this is a business. I couldn't really find out a lot about them, unfortunately, but I know of them. It's called Shamrock Awards and Engraving. And here they are right here. I think I'm going to try to do this. Go to their site. Yeah, for such a well-run business, this site is probably not indicative. It's very factual, but I've had a lot of work done with them over the years, a lot of engraving work. Prices are reasonable, and the fact that they stay in business is telling you something. It's telling you something. Now, look here. Look up at the top of this here. I'm going to go get this. See that little white building right there? That's it. That's them. That's their operations right there in that building. It's got to be a family. They're not telling us a lot, but this is a family-run business. There aren't a lot of people who do this in this area. So, guys, good at it. They've been in business since I've been in town. Well over 20 years. So they probably go back a lot farther than that. Anyway, just impressed. That's all. All right, let's see if we can scroll back here to where it was. Whoops. Actually, I want to do this. Okay, good. All right, so one more thing I would like to cover. Of course, it may not let me. We'll go ahead and stop the share. Something else I wanted to talk about. I said, what makes sense here? What ties this together? I thought, what about parachutes? What do we know about parachutes? Let's talk about the history. So the first known sketch of a parachute was done in the 15th century by Leonardo da Vinci, right? The greatest engineering / artist of history, right? But it was in the 18th century that a Louis Sebastian Leonardo made the first public descent, probably from a hot air balloon. He named it the parachute. And this is kind of interesting who this was, because the French were actually very involved with flying and hot air balloons. They were interested in that technology. But there was somebody else named Andre Jacques uh, Garnerin, who pioneered the frameless parachute. And of course, you're getting up to the 19th century before you know it, you got World War I, World War II, you got planes. So, it's history, uh, as they say. But what a great invention. What a great invention. Allows you to jump out of a perfectly good plane. So everyone, again, these are exciting times here in Anne Arundel County. I think we're gonna have some more good weather. Somewhere along the line, someone's gonna have to mow that lawn. It's gotta be done. But anyway, so for everyone here at the Glen Burnie Players, again, my name is Anthony Bynum. Until next time, bye bye.